So your last match in WCW was sometime in '99 against Benoit, and then you were released. Was that a surprise? Like that was the last match, or you knew you were
It was a
headed
little bit
out?
of a surprise because I had actually sat down with JJ, who was doing the contracts then, and I was just finishing up a 3-year deal with a pay raise every year. Got a nice little thing going, and we had sat down and they had just started doing a whole bunch of, you know, firing these guys because they had when I got my contract in '96 when I got my first contract, there was 47 people under contract. When I finished up in '99, I think there was like 220.
Holy moly!
Nitro girls,
Wow.
everybody. There were guys that had a contract that never worked. Randy Savage's brother, Lanny, had a
Yeah.
contract and never showed up on the TV, never did anything. Um, there were a lot of guys that were like that because Bischoff went and signed everybody in the world that they didn't want to go to Vince, kind of like Vince did for a while there because of AEW.
Yep.
So I had sat down. We had kind of worked on an outline of a new contract. It would have been a 1-year deal with another little pay raise to go in for another one more year. And it was maybe about 3 weeks after we had our first little meeting. They called me over to the CNN Center and said, we're going to pull the option and for the contract and want to put you on a nightly deal where we'll sign you to make, a couple grand a match. Maybe you'll work once or twice a week. Maybe it might not work. And I went, nah, I'm
Wow.
out
Yeah,
of
that's
here.
not good.
Because I
Yeah.
didn't like the way Vince Russo was booking things. Everybody was walking on eggshells back then because all of a sudden standards and practices became a reality where they didn't want you to do this, they didn't want you to say that. It just become instead of being fun to be at a TV taping, to be at a Nitro, it became a job. And when you become a wrestler, you don't do it to be a job. You do it because you don't want to work a job.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
I don't know how
Yep.
many guys have told you that, but most of the veterans said, "Man, I wrestled because I didn't want to have a job. I want to have fun what I was doing. When you get in
Right.
that ring, it's fun. When you get on the road, you're having fun. And your every day is different. You're not going to an office. You're not doing going to a restaurant to work or something like that. It's fun. It's not a job. And it just became tedious being there, and it was no more fun. And it was a breath of fresh air to get out of there. I was actually when they pulled the contract and said we're going to do a nightly, I said I'm done. I'm out. And so basically they said, okay. And that I think the Benoit match was in November when it got taped and it might have aired like the first week of December. And I was didn't call me in for nothing. I basically sat home, watched TV, worked out. Um, and I still had checks coming in through the end of January. So basically for 2 months, 10 weeks, I didn't really do anything because they didn't book me on anything. They knew I was finished up. They didn't book me to lose anybody. It kind of figured, well, in USWA, I left on a Wednesday without giving a 2-week notice. Here, I had 10 weeks where they didn't bring me in to even put people over. So I was kind of like, I was happy.
Yeah, that's
It was good
different.
to get out of there. I kept making my nice little paychecks. It was just good to get out because I was actually happy not having to go to that stuff because it was just miserable how Russo had kind of turned things around to be what do you call it, crash TV or something like that, where everything was this, it was that.
Yep.
I was like, they had me in Bagwell when they were trying to see if Bagwell was going to be that it guy or whatever. And it was all the time it was going to be Jeff Jarrett.
Yep.
Um, where they shot a kid cam or whatever that thing. It was supposed to be like a hidden camera thing with me and Bagwell were discussing the finish, and Bagwell didn't want to put me over and all that kind of stuff. And I hated to do that. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. And they were like, hey, just do it. It's just TV now. It's not wrestling anymore. Because I didn't want to sit there and be saying, yeah, they gave me the finish as a finish. And Marcus going, I don't want to put you over. Well, that's what they gave me. And then they have the referee in the ring touching his ear. That was the most embarrassing match of my life. And I owe that to Vince Russo because I hated that match because it was basically just exposing the business before it was really still exposed. People had an idea, had a clue, but they didn't have the boys telling during TV that this is what's going on. That's when I should have politically spoke up and said, I'm not doing this. They probably would have sent me home, fired me or whatever then. But I was told, just do it. It's not wrestling anymore. It's TV.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.